Week 11 of fantasy hockey is the final week before the Christmas break. There is a brief hiatus on the 24th, 25th, and 26th where there are no NHL games played. So week 11 is kind of the last week where you're going to get a full schedule before Christmas break. Again, there's some really good options in terms of streamers for this week, and pretty much every team is going to get at least 3 games. So I'm going to dive into the best streaming options available for you guys for week 11 of fantasy hockey. I'm Chris. Let's get right into the video. Pretty typical schedule from the NHL again this week. The off nights are the Monday, the Wednesday, and the Friday. Typically, you see the Sunday, but there are 0 NHL games being played on the Sunday due to the Christmas break starting. We have the Detroit Red Wings with probably one of the best schedules for this week. 4 games, 3 off nights. Really, really good option in terms of streamers. And then the Minnesota Wild play 4 games, but only have 1 off night for the week. The Winnipeg Jets, I think, are the second best option due to the fact that every single one of their games is on an off night. So we definitely want to be targeting some Jets as well. And then the Kraken and the Habs both play 3 games with 2 off nights. So depending on where you want to kind of use your streamers in the week, these could be viable options for you as well. Moving on to the worst schedule, as you can see, the Tuesday, the Thursday, and the Saturday are going to be those busy nights where majority of NHL teams play. There are 14 teams that have 3 games and 0 off nights. I don't think it's that big of a deal if you don't want to necessarily stream somebody for the week due to the fact that you're going to get at least 3 games based off of everybody in your lineup. Nobody plays less than 3 games for the week, and regardless of the fact that they're on busy nights, you're still going to want to play your best guys and not necessarily, drop one and stream. But if you want to get the upper hand and stream some extra players for the week, take a look at the best forward options and defense options. Starting us off in week 11 for our forward streams, Lucas Raymond, he's been fantastic as of late, continues to produce. His shot volume is solid on top of that. Again, 64% owned, so probably only available to some of you that are in some more shallower leagues. But if he is by chance available in your league, highly recommend you grab this guy. He was in a must-add video, absolutely tearing it up in Detroit this year, so highly recommend grabbing him. Nikolai Ehlers was in the must-add video yesterday and should honestly be a must-add if he's available as well, given the fact that he's got a very, very good schedule again for the week. 3 off nights on every single one of his games of the week. 51% owned, so he should be more readily available than Raymond is, but again, likely his ownership is going to go up due to the fact that he's playing line 1 and power play 1. Oliver Bjorkstrand, again, he does only play 3 games, but he does have 2 off nights. So you can stream this guy earlier in the week and then pick somebody else up. For example, 38% owned. It should be pretty available to most of you. Line 2, power play 2. Don't let that scare you away. His production's been fantastic for the Kraken so far this year, along with his shot volume has been great, and he's chipping in a bunch in terms of the hit category as well. So I think he's a great option, especially early on in the week. And then JT Compher, 27% owned. He's just come back off of an injury, and he's now playing line 1 and power play 1. Probably going to get triple eligibility soon due to the fact that Dylan Larkin's out and he's playing line 1 center alongside Patrick Kane. Our deep leagues forward options are just as good. Gabe Vilardi, Cole Perfetti, both around that 20% ownership mark. They're both dual eligible. Vilardi is center right wing, Perfetti is center left wing, and they both are getting power play 1 time. Vilardi's playing line 1 with Scheifele and Ehlers, so I'm going to kind of bump him in terms of value overall there, and they've both been solid in terms of their production as of late. Really good schedule for this week. 3 off nights. Highly recommend grabbing one of these guys, if not both. Should be a very, very solid stream option for you guys this week. Marco Rossi, again, not the best in terms of off nights for schedule for this week, but he has been solid in terms of his production as of late. He got moved down to line 2 after he was playing top line with Kirill Kaprizov and Matt Boldy, but he's now playing with Matt Zuccarello on line 2, and he's getting power play 2 time. In deeper leagues, I think he's a good option, especially due to the fact that he plays 4 games for this week. Really good upside in terms of that power play 2 also. Again, he does have 3 busy nights on the week, but if you need a guy and say you have an injury or something that you just need to fill a spot and you're in a deeper league, at 9% owned, I think he's a great option given his schedule. And then finally, Daniel Sprong might be a better option than Rossi, honestly, due to the fact that he's got 3 off nights. Don't let the line 3 and power play 2 time kind of scare you away from Sprong. We saw it last year in Seattle as well when he was just playing line 3 minutes and absolutely tearing up in terms of goals. He's doing the same thing in Detroit, a ton of shot volume on top of that, and his production has been solid on the year as well. So highly recommend grabbing Sprong if you need a winger. Moving on to our defense streams for the week, we have a Jake Wallman as our #1 option. He's pair 1 and power play 2. Detroit really likes to kind of blend their power play defensemen. Sometimes it's Wallman on power play 1, sometimes it's Sider, and then sometimes it's Ghost, and it has been Ghost just by himself up there as of late. But again, really good schedule for the week. He gets you a ton of blocks as well too. This guy has already at 80 blocks on the year. Good shot volume, power play upside, and his production has been solid on the week. Neil Pionk, Brendan Dillon, both 32% owned, both pair 2. They play on the same pair. And then Pionk is slightly going to edge out Dillon for me due to the fact that he's got some power play upside as well as a good source of hits on top of that. His shot volume is, you know, pretty average, but again, you get some power play upside, you get some shot and some hit volume. And with Dillon, I think he might honestly be a better option in terms of his floor due to the fact that he just blocks a ton. He's one of the best block guys in the league so far this year. And he, again, could honestly be a better option than Pionk based off of his floor and the fact that he's going to get you more in terms of peripherals for hits and blocks specifically. And his shot volume is pretty solid as well, pretty similar to Pionk in that sense. So up to you guys, whichever one you want to stream, whichever one you think would benefit you more. If you count blocks in your league, maybe it's Dillon. If you want more power play upside for the week, maybe you go with Pionk. But again, both really, really good options for defensemen on the week. If you can't get to either of those guys and you're in a much deeper league, Ben Sherratt is pretty much the same type of player as Brendan Dillon is. Going to get you a ton of blocks, ton of hits, and some decent shot volume on top of that. Pair 2, plays a ton of minutes. Great schedule for this week. Really, really good option, especially if you're in a deeper league and you can't get to a guy like Dillon or Pionk, for example. And then finally, we have Brock Faber on our list at 5% owned. He's a really good deep option due to the upside that he has playing power play 1 in Minnesota. His peripherals aren't necessarily good, but he is the high scoring defenseman in Minnesota currently since trading away Galen Addison. He's power play 1, pair 1, plays a ton of minutes. I would love, like I said, if his peripherals were just slightly better than what they are right now, but he's a good young up and coming defenseman and he's getting that power play 1 time due to some injuries in Minnesota. I think he's a great stream option for this week, especially in deeper leagues at 5% owned due to the fact that he gets 4 games. And based off what you're seeing here in the goalie streams, there isn't a lot of options in terms of week 11. There honestly wasn't a lot of back-to-backs where you had an available backup goalie to stream. And again, most teams played 3 games and all on busy nights and not really a ton of back-to-backs, like I said. But Charlie Lindgren has basically been the starter in Washington, 41% owned. He's going to get you some volume this week for sure. But I really like the matchup against the Islanders on a back-to-back if you need to necessarily stream a goalie and you're in. Not necessarily, like honestly, at that point, it doesn't really matter if you're in a shallow league or not. You can just find a good goaltending option for a back-to-back if you need to start. Joey Decourt has been fantastic for Seattle as of late, and now that Philip Grubauer has gone down with an injury and has been placed on IR, he's been the outright starter there, so I expect him to get every single start this week pretty much. But I understand if you don't want to stream him right off the bat, there's a tough matchup against Dallas, and then they go into LA in the middle of the week as well. But finishing off the week, they have a game against Anaheim. I honestly anticipate Joey Decourt starting all 3 of those games at 18% owned. He's been great on top of that as well, so highly recommend grabbing him in terms of goalie streams for the week. And then Jake Allen, again, Montreal's not the best team in the world, but they are playing Chicago on an off night on a back-to-back. 8% owned should be a decent goaltending stream option for this week. And then finally, David Rittich. Now, I get that he's 0% owned, but Phoenix Copley went down with an injury recently. He's getting an MRI. It could be something long-term. I anticipate that LA is just going to throw Rittich in against San Jose this week due to the fact that it's a back-to-back and they start off their week playing San Jose first and then right into a back-to-back against Seattle. I can see them just giving Talbot that kind of back-to-back game against the tougher team in Seattle, and they might just start Rittich to kind of get his feet wet as he hasn't played an NHL game yet, and giving him a matchup against San Jose should be relatively easy for the Kings. I don't have a lot of confidence in Rittich this year, just given the fact that he really hasn't played at all, but the fact that LA is playing San Jose, he should at the very least get you a win. I don't know how he's going to be in terms of goaltending, but honestly, sometimes when guys like this come in, the team just really hunkers down defensively, and LA is one of the better defensive teams in the National Hockey League right now. So again, it could go either way, but I think you should at least get a win against San Jose for Rittich to start off your week. That is going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and hit that subscribe button. Happy holidays to everybody out there. Like I said in the previous video, I think Mike and I are going to take a brief kind of break in terms of our weekly schedule. We'll probably still get you around a video or two out in the next couple weeks, but expect it to just slow down for the holiday season. We just want to be able to spend some time with family and enjoy our holidays and our breaks. So happy holidays to all of you. Hopefully you guys have a safe and fun one. I will see you in the next video. Have yourselves a fantastic rest of the day.